Jerry Means up. Jerry's running for county commissioner also.
Thank you all for being here. I don't know why I'm here, but last thing in the world I thought about was running for office. But I always figured that if you're going to be a part of this community, you have to stand up. Because we can all sit at home in our easy chairs, and I can see most of us are grandparents. Tonight I should be at 2 baseball games on different ends of the county. But as now I'm on the land board, so I do get a chance to see the plans for the new arenas, and it's basically banked off of the National High School Rodeo. That's here for 10 days. One of the things that I don't understand is why we build something that the community does not get to use.
Yeah.
If we're going to build arenas, 2 of the commissioners went to look at an arena in Cheyenne. Very nice arena. And we have the East Pavilion, and I've asked, there's some things that I don't know, all the things that there is to talk, that are behind the scene. But we could have advanced the East Pavilion 100 feet and created a warm-up area inside, built a second arena. I don't know, I haven't met with the National High School Rodeo people, but I heard they did not ask for everything that we were proposing. And when we build these stadiums, and that's what they are, wraparound seating, and then on the second floor we have a restaurant. I mean, we're 45,000 people. Why don't we take care of our needs first? Instead of, I guess I grew up here for the last, raised here 71 years. I feel like every year is a different year. And I know that we need to get back to being a community. Because as a kid, when I walked down the street, everybody knew me. They knew my families. If you were in trouble, everybody knew you were in trouble. And then when you walk around Gillette now, do you see that? No. When you go to the schools, do you see that? No. And so what I started doing was going to all these different meetings. I've been going to county commissioners meetings for 10 years now. And every time we build something, it ends up being twice as much as what we were proposed. And every time I've asked the commissioners, I said, how'd this happen? Well, it cost us got out of control. Being a contractor, we started our company in 1970. And for 45 years, we never went over our costs when we bid a project, because that was our honor. And obviously, if you don't do it too many times, you don't get to work for them no more. And so with, and then the original proposal at the Camplex was a hockey rink. And I asked, how come we can't build something similar to what everybody else has? Sheridan has one for $15 million. We proposed one for $35 million, wraparound stadium seating, because we have to be Gillette. I have friends in Casper, Buffalo, Sheridan, Newcastle. We're all the same. We have our families. That's what we, the most precious thing to me is my family. And next is this community. So I never really planned on running for any damned office in my life. It's easier to sit in the back and ask the questions. But in the 1986, the economy in Gillette fell on its butt. You couldn't find a rig any place in the state of Wyoming. And that was our business. And until 2000, when the methane came, it kind of turned the economy around in Gillette. In the oil business, if you flood the market, price goes down. Wasn't that long ago, the price went down when Trump was in office. And there was a mass exit out of Gillette. Because a lot of these businesses left. I mean, if there's nothing there for them to run, or the business for them, they have no ties to Gillette. So, and the same has happened in the coal market. Whenever they flood the market, price goes down. So in 1989, when I came back from California, because we took part of our company to California to try to make ends meet. When they finally came out there and hauled me back, it was a blessing, I guarantee it. I did not blend into California very well. And the people in Gillette asked us to build the American Legion Baseball Park. What was interesting about it was we did the dirt work, Cyclone put up the exterior fence, Barton Masonry put up the buildings, Mike Ladke did the concrete, Cundy Asphalt did the asphalt there, and people came from all over the community to help out wherever they possibly could. It was a community facility. It was for the community. And when you build something for this community, the people should be able to use it. Yes. So I'm just rambling on here, and the last thing in the world I ever thought I'd be doing was talk to a group of people, because Mrs. Fitch would actually tell you, I couldn't put two words together. So I'll wrap it up there, and if you have questions, I'll do my damnedest to answer them, but yes, John.
I'm not putting you on the spot. Maybe you should talk a little bit what Patriot said tonight. They unveiled that project at the Lambo meeting, so then we asked them how it was going to fund itself and the maintenance of it. What their response was.
That's a good question.
Can you repeat the question?
I'll let Jack ask the question.
I want him to speak to what Patriot said, who did the engineering on this expansion for the complex. What was their response to when the question was asked, how is it going to fund itself? Capital-wise and expense-wise. I just want him to, because he knows a little more about it, to kind of explain the details to everybody here, so you get an idea what it's not going to do, and it wasn't from Jerry or anybody else. It's what the design dictates.
Basically, they said that we were going to be bringing in big shows, first-class entertainment. We'll be bringing in national cutting events. And I asked him, I says, have you looked at the stands at a national cutting or a national barrel race? There's nobody in the stands, so who's paying for the facility? One of the promoters of the barrel racing, and nice people, I'm not trying to make paint an ugly picture of anybody, but I says, are you willing to put up $100,000 for the week to use the facility? No, I can't afford that. I says, that's $5.2 million for the year. That does not keep the lights turned on in this facility. That's just one event. How are you going to do that over the entire year? And nobody seems to be able to answer the question. They seem to have lots of ideas, but I never could feed my family on speculation. It came down to good old hard work. And most people forget that this community was built with the working class. We are a working class community. We're not Las Vegas. And we need to, and I'll always repeat it, we need to take care of our community and what its needs are instead of speculation. That answer it? Yes, John. I just got to know your name here a couple weeks ago.
Thank you for taking my question. You just mentioned that all these people are bringing ideas to spend our tax dollars here. Why do you suppose they come to Gillette? What is it that we have that they think that this is a place that for easy pickings for these ideas?
It actually happens within our community. Everybody, I had kids play Division I sports. I've got grandkids that are playing every sport you can imagine when you got 13 of them.
Yeah.
And they feel that if we become a sports mecca, I always call it a sports mecca, because build it and they will come. I always wish that Kevin Costner hadn't created that movie, Field of Dreams, because talk about, I mean, if you met with the city council, or we're blessed now that we got some commissioners that actually have lived here most of their life. We can't live off of dreams. That will not feed our families. In this community here, I would say 80% are struggling to make ends meet. And it's not going to get better. I mean, inflation. I feel for my families and wonder sometimes how they're putting food on the tables.
Yeah.
Because inflation is skyrocketed. It's not our wages haven't gone up to accommodate them. So, I mean, I wish sometimes I did not go to all these meetings, because it's almost discouraging to see what we go through. Over speculation. We let a handful of people dictate to us instead of the community. And I asked at a populist meeting, I says, there's 100 people in the room, and those are the people that put together this design on the complex. I says, if you own a motel, restaurant, convenience store, grocery store, raise your hand. Motel. No hands went up. I says, all this is that 99.9% of people are paying, or their taxes are paying for all this, to benefit less than 0.1%. I says, that's not our community. I says, I'm not against business. We still own several businesses around Gillette. But it's not the community's job to make my businesses successful. So, I mean, I guess it always comes down to that at a school board meeting, I walk up there and ask the questions. I do not feel comfortable. Being a public speaker is nothing I ever intended to do. But I put them on the spot. I want them to answer the question. I've done the same thing to the county commissioners for the last 10 years. To me, this is our community, and I want all the constituents in the community never feel embarrassed to go up and ask a question. And I can guarantee it's one of the hardest things in the world to do. For me to grab this mic, I thought, what in the hell did I just walk into? You know? But I feel that this community is ours, and that any person that puts himself in public office, you represent the people. And if you feel that everybody needs to feel comfortable that you can ask anybody a question and expect an answer. If they don't have the answer, that they'll go find the answer. I'm going to end it right there before I get to rattling on more.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Jerry, what was your question?
Jerry, you mentioned a few of the other ice arenas around the area or state. You know, Sheridan's got a pretty nice hockey arena, ice arena, and but it's called the Mars Ice Arena because it's subsidized pretty much by the Mars family, that's Mars Candy family.
Correct.
You just talked about, you know, we're a working class county, town. Off the top of my head, I can't think of somebody that would subsidize the arena like that, but Sheridan's, I look at Sheridan's, we need to find a sugar daddy to help to do that.
We do have some very wealthy people in the community, and they've been very kind. But the way I look at it is build something that works for our community. Not for, I don't care if we have a pro team here. I care about our kids in our community. So if we're building something, it should be for our community. And not speculation on, well, we could have a pro hockey team here. Or we could, you know, put these, well, take the dual arenas. It's speculation that all these people will come. We'll have the National High School finals, we do. But then we can have the National Little League Alliance finals. We could have the college finals. I guess in my concept is, why are we taxing our public so much? Because I don't know all the answers on the mill levy, but if somebody wants some, and I learned it on the aquatic center, because I was that dummy that asked the finance guy, where did this money come from for your slush fund? And then it says the mill levy, rec mill, $15 million, like it's just monopoly money. And I'm thinking, most of the aquatic centers across the nation right now are building 25-meter pools. Why are they building instead of an Olympic site? Half the cost, half the maintenance. And that's where it always comes back to, are we taking care of our needs, or we just want to build something that nobody else has? You know, and that's what we teach our kids. One of the questions I asked, are we teaching our kids that you cannot be successful unless somebody hands you everything? And I don't want my kids to feel that way. I don't want my grandkids. I want them to understand that you get up in the morning and you step out there and you take on whatever challenges there are. You're the one that's going to decide your future. And that person that thinks somebody's got to hand them something, be successful, that's not what I was raised on. Okay.
I guess one of my questions is, you know, Gillette, ever since I can remember, they want to make Gillette a tourist destination. Number one, what is here? You know, Moorcroft is more a tourist destination than probably Gillette is, because they got Devil's Tower. Buffalo's more because they got the Tetons. What is going to make us so special that we're going to be a tourist destination? It's not motels, and if you're in town past 10 o'clock, there's maybe one restaurant open, and that's McDonald's, right? I mean, well, we can't even keep enough restaurants open past 10 o'clock that you can eat. I mean, it's like, why is going to make Gillette a tourist destination? You know, I mean.
Well, this is a question that I asked the group. I said, we don't have the bighorns in our backyard, or the Black Hills. We got the biggest equipment in the world. You want us to build them now? I mean, we have to be realistic. And I've never not been proud of my community.
Right.
This is where I was born, this is where I was raised, this is where I raised my kids. And take this before I get to talk.
I'm actually, yeah.
You can get